Mercedes-AMG faces criticism from fans and experts alike, both on and off the track, and we are not even 2 weeks into the season. But there seems to be light at the end of the tunnel. Mercedes finally revealed upcoming changes to the car. In this video, I will discuss what those changes are and when we can expect them. But before we discuss those changes, let's do a quick recap of everything that has happened in the last week. Let's dive right in. The team, which dominated the sport until 2020, has had a disappointing start, with Lewis Hamilton and George Russell finishing in 5th and 7th place. Their car has not shown any significant improvements over the previous year's model, which also failed to show promising performance with only one race win in the season. Additionally, Mercedes is experiencing internal problems with their staff as well, and a recent dispute with their star driver Lewis Hamilton has only added to their list of concerns. Mercedes failed to show any real pace during both preseason testing and the first Grand Prix. The major problems were related to downforce, and the car had a considerable difference in grip compared to rivals Ferrari and Red Bull. This also resulted in more significant tire degradation, which in turn resulted in slower lap times. Team principal Toto Wolff acknowledged these issues after the practice sessions, and stated that the team would eventually catch up to the front runners with time. But when? Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko commented in an article that with the pace Mercedes has shown in the race, the car does not seem very competitive and will likely not be in contention for this year's title. In the interview with Sky Sports, he said, "The World Championship title is out of reach for Mercedes. Mercedes does not have one problem with its concept for the new season, but several. The solution did not come over the winter." He also stated that with the financial constraints, it is unlikely many significant changes would come to the W14, and even if they do, the new car would not have had time for proper testing. You can't design 2 or 3 cars. If a completely new car comes now, it will be difficult from the financial limits, and the new car will not be competitive from the beginning. That has to be further developed. They lack the 3 test days and the racing experience. The changes coming to Mercedes cars would have to deal with their current aerodynamic issues. As the season progresses, aerodynamics will play a more crucial hand in track speed. Hungary, Imola, Singapore, Spain, and Monaco are all examples of such tracks. Mercedes would also need to ensure their engine is more reliable, as it may be the factor that gains points for them in races where Ferrari or Red Bull have problems. Many rumors also started to float around regarding the future of Mercedes. The first conspiracy theory doing the rounds at the track suggests that Mercedes might prioritize working on Aston Martin's engines instead of their own if their underperformance continues, and if Fernando Alonso keeps demonstrating the pace he's been showing. The idea is that this would allow Mercedes to keep their engine in contention for the championship, which would somewhat ease the reputation damage. Another rumor regarding the car's design states that Mercedes will look to Aston Martin for design ideas. The also Mercedes-powered Aston Martin showed great pace during testing in the Bahrain GP and managed to score a podium in the race. The AMR23 took great inspiration from last year's Red Bull car, and with Aston's new technical director directly from Red Bull, we can see they are using fire to fight fire. Perhaps Mercedes will also use this strategy to improve their car and catch up with the top teams. During a recent interview, Lewis Hamilton spoke out about how the team should have utilized his input on the car and how his feedback was overlooked. "Last year, I told them the issues that are with the car," he commented. "I've driven so many cars in my life, so I know what a car needs. I know what a car doesn't need." This statement raised concerns about Hamilton's future with the team that has helped him secure 6 championships. With his contract set to expire later this year, many speculated whether he would extend his contract with Mercedes or switch teams. However, any doubts were swiftly put to rest after Mercedes posted a photo of Hamilton on all their social media platforms with the caption, "I don't plan on being anywhere else." This brings us to the changes we can expect from Mercedes later this year. Mercedes has first stated that their drivers' inputs are precious to the team, and that they will use all the information they can get this year to improve the car. The car will be more suited for the drivers, which will in turn make the drivers feel more confident behind the wheel and allow for an overall better performance. They are all set to introduce new bodywork in the next few races, specifically a new side pod design. Technical director Mike Elliott commented that many changes are planned for the car, which will be entirely new and not a copy of other cars on the grid. As it happens, as Toto already said, we've got different bodywork coming. It won't be the same as other people's, and it won't be the same as what we've got, but it'll be different. He did not comment on the exact time frame though, and just stated it would be coming soon. "It's just part of the normal development," he said. "We have got a different side pod that's coming in, but it takes time to bring that. It takes time to make the bits. It takes time to sort of change the bits to go underneath the bodywork for it to fit. So, we'll bring it as soon as we can." Elliott also commented on the feedback received from Hamilton and Russell. "We've probably not quite got the balance window where we want it. The car is not quite handling the way they want it to be yet. So that's our job, to go and fix that." Mercedes has also agreed that they need to change the whole concept of the car. They realize that this car only has so much room for improvement and won't be able to close the gap between Red Bull and Ferrari. Toto Wolff commented on the car and its future after the Bahrain GP. "I don't think this package is going to be competitive eventually," he told media in Bahrain. "We gave it our best go also over the winter, and now we just need to all regroup, sit down with the engineers who are totally not dogmatic about anything. There is no holy cows, and decide what is the development direction we want to pursue in order to be competitive to win races." He also stated that his goal is to make changes to the car, not the team. "In this team, we blame the problem and not the person," he said. "And at the end, I have responsibility, so I would need to fire myself if I want to do something." Finally, Mercedes has released a letter to all its fans and supporters, attempting to apologize for Bahrain. The letter reads, "Bahrain hurt. It hurts each one of us who head into every season determined to fight for world championships. It hurt the team as a whole after pouring so much hard work into a car that hasn't met our expectations. And we know it hurts you, our fans, too. Your passion and support are so important in driving us forward, and we know that we feel the same pain. The situation we face right now isn't the one that any of us wanted, but it's the one we have. That's the reality of it. And the simple questions are, what can we do about it, and what will we do about it?" In this letter, they also stated they won't change the car suddenly, which will prove harmful in the long run. They want to go through their problems calmly and professionally and address everything. Moreover, they stated that they would work together as a team and, as reiterated before, would not point fingers at anyone. "We're together through thick and thin, from Toto, Lewis, and George to every single woman and man in the factories in Brackley and Brixworth, and we love that challenge." The letter ended with the team asking for support from their fans. They asked them to remain respectful when offering criticism, and then asked the fans to stay with the team and push them to the front. The letter overall was meant to send a message to the fans. The message that, although the team has yet to perform well, they are trying their best and will continue to improve to a point where they can win races and prove their worth. Overall, although there is much work to be done, Mercedes does have the capability to overcome the issues they face, both on and off the track, and only the coming races will prove what they are able to pull off. The new side pod design is crucial here because it is perhaps the most significant factor in Aston Martin's sudden boost in pace. What do you think? What type of changes will Mercedes bring in their car? And will they be enough to keep them in the fight for the title? Comment your thoughts below.